We pirates found this redhead marooned on an island in a compromising position. Let us now sit quietly and listen to his tale of wacky animal shenanigans. Oh no, don't listen to him. I'll tell you the real story of Robinson Crusoe, because only talking animals know the true story of every historical and fictional figure. I'm an explorer who gets very easily seasick. I might want to rethink my choice of profession. Ew, cats! That'll show you for ridding the ship of disease-ridden pests and momentarily getting distracted by our tasty-looking chicken merchandise. Just for that, we're going to spend the rest of this movie destroying you. Oh, this tropical island paradise is so boring. I want to see what's out there. Mac is wishing he was a Disney princess again. Oh no, a storm! Guess it's time to walk precariously on the edge of this cliff. Oh no, somehow 5 of us became tied together dangling over this cliff, and now we're falling. Oh, but we're okay. What was the point of that scene? My Scottish dog and I are now shipwrecked. Orf. Haggis, bagpipes. Oh look, something new on the island. Kill it! Something new? Gimme. Oh look, the dog is just sitting there and the human's doing all the work. That dog must be the master. That is an incredibly original observation. Despite being stranded on an island, I cannot bring myself to kill another creature for food. Oh no, it's those ruddy cats. Kill them! Oh, bummer, man, I hurt my wing. Oh, you poor little bird, let me heal you. He's gonna eat Mac. What do we do? Let's bother him mildly. Bother. Get off me. Do not worry, Redbird. My master likes you and would never hurt you. Oh, righteous bro. Hello, dog. I hope you like being on fire. Holy the dog died. The dog died? Dog died. But he had a name and blind. I know, but he's dead. Holy Somehow, my dear, setting that dog on fire did not improve our situation. Now we're stranded on a smaller island with nothing but bugs. What are we going to do now? We'll build an army and attack the human. How are we going to build an army? The natural way. This movie was definitely not made in America. Oh, because his Scottish dog is dead, I have to now take care of this human. But we're still scared of him. Soon, human, we will attack. We're still scared of him. Soon, human, we will attack. We're still scared of— Oh, good God, guys. Move the story forward. Get to the part where you trust him already so we can get to the wacky building montage. Okay, geez. I still don't trust this guy. Okay, fine, Kiki. How about you take your perpetually buzzkill attitude to the other side of the island? Because I'm such a great explorer, I'm not making any observation about the amazing abilities and dexterity and tameability of these new animals, helping me build this elaborate treehouse which has indoor plumbing and unlimited food dispensal, because physics don't mean here. Now, my somehow millions of cat children, attack the human! Wacky cat killing hijinks. Oh no, the treehouse is on fire! Oh, but the fire attracted another ship. And that's what happened. Now, will you take me back to England? No, we be pirates. If you're gonna be on our ship, you have to be a pirate. Oh no, I would rather live on this tiny island alone forever than become a pirate. Okay, bye then. The end. Hi, welcome to CellSpecs' newest edition of the Sanity Breaking series, How the did this Trek make it into theaters? The Wildlife is a multi-studio overseas production, primarily Belgium, from a company that usually sticks to DVD releases, save for that Fly to the Moon movie in 2008. And The Wildlife is its boring generic Americanized title because, as we established, that is a thing that family movies have to do now. Its original title being its star, Robinson Crusoe, and I'd make an obvious joke that this was a Disneyfied version of the Robinson Crusoe story with talking animals, but honestly, even if this had been given the Pocahontas treatment, that would still be a more dignified version of his story than this, where instead of just 1 or 2 dopey animal sidekicks, Robinson himself is the dopey comedic sidekick to a bunch of strangely serious talking animal characters. The story is full of cliches, the characters are barely characters. Seriously, what did cats ever do to this writer since they're basically minions of Satan in this film? The writing is incredibly repetitive and dull, and nut buckets on high, there needs to be a worldwide ban on talking animal movies that start by saying, "Let me tell you the real story of this famous character." And the animation,
Well, it's certainly better designed, detailed, and textured than a certain other movie. And I wondered for a bit why the human design looked so familiar, and I figured out it's because they're exactly like the human designs from the Shrek movies. But the movement, that is where you can really tell how cheap this movie really is, especially on the humans. The entire movie needed to be rendered like 5 more times. It's still better than a lot of DVD releases, but it's still substantially not good enough for theaters. But you know what? I figured it out! It's suddenly so clear to me the true vindictive nature on why the current Hollywood animation formula is so toxic. Remember how I said in the Angry Birds review that no matter how good or emotionally resonant the movie actually is, which Angry Birds is not, by the way, how every animated family film needs to at least be advertised like it's upbeat, silly, and stupid? Well, apparently now, even for really low budget studios, if you have semi-passable CGI and can get your trailers to look as stupid and silly as every single other American-made movie trailer, you too can get a shot at American-wide releases. In fact, it's probably why The Little Prince didn't make it into theaters, because they couldn't find a way to advertise this serious story to make it look stupid enough. But at the very least, both Wildlife and Norm of the North were only in 2,000 plus theaters for 2 weeks, which is substantially shorter than most mainstream films, which at least usually get 4 to 5 and even more for the massive studios. But the real question for Wildlife is it, in fact, worse than Norm of the North? And what I really mean by that is, despite that Wildlife's animation is obviously better, it's very slowly paced, very repetitive, and doesn't actually attempt to be particularly funny outside of being generally upbeat in tone and a couple of physical gags. I don't know, there's a couple dumb lines in there, but in a weird way, this talking animal Robinson Crusoe movie is taking itself strangely seriously. Whereas in my other review, I repeatedly stated that Norm of the North was way too conventional to be as hilariously bad as something like Food Fight, but it does still have its share of bizarreness and awkwardness and ridiculous leaps in logic that I could see how sorts of people who enjoy watching bad movies for fun would probably find Norm of the North more entertainingly bad than Wildlife, which they would probably just find sort of boring. And I really wouldn't know, because I am not one of those people who finds bad movies entertaining unless it already has a riff tracks attached to it. Unlike the rest of the internet, I have just never found people failing to do things competently as entertaining or deserving of praise. But I do understand that not everybody is me. Some people actually kind of like bad, poorly executed humor, but I actually greatly appreciated that this movie didn't feel like it needed to force a joke in every 30 seconds. That is, until it came over to America, where they in fact added some stupid lines to up the comedy, because of course they did, including a narration over the ending credits where Max says how he just suddenly stopped caring about needing to see new places, which they never addressed in the original. Oh, and by the way, he and Robinson both got lady friends that just happened to wash up on a deserted island, because that is just how relentless the heterosexual agenda is. That was not in the original English dub whatsoever. But the thing that I can say about Robinson Crusoe is that in its own limited way, it's trying to be as good as it can be. Well, at least as an animation exercise. Like, it was a challenge to the studio to make a dynamic looking enough film that maybe could pass for a Hollywood theatrical, but still because budget could only take place in one location. Which is why the story feels very small, but also because I think it was just supposed to be groundwork for a bunch of elaborate, wacky, cartoon physical sequences. And yet the story keeps feeling compelled to go back to these characters as if they're interesting, but they're not. But because of the director, that actually makes some sense. The director of this movie also made a movie called Sammy's Adventures, or A Turtle's Tale in the US, a straight-to-DVD movie, at least here, about the life of a sea turtle, which of course I have watched because it's about a sea turtle. And while DVD was definitely the correct distribution choice, neither the writing nor the animation nor the characters are stellar in any way, it is watchable, following a baby sea turtle go on various standalone adventures through adulthood. It didn't feel the need to overforce comedy or silly cartoony antics, and contains a satisfying and complete character arc, which is more than I can say for this film, where the characters basically overcome a mob of cats and then the film just kinda ends. This director is used to telling stories, not animation for animation's sake. Seriously, what was the point of the pineapple incident where they almost fell off the cliff? What did that add to the movie? And yes, I admit, even Norm of the North's story is complete. But the real key difference between this and the other movie is that Norm of the North seems like nobody put any effort into it at all. If somebody told me that Norm of the North was the product of a machine that was designed to just massively produce cheap Hollywood animated films that hit all of the conventional bullet points, I would believe that. But Robinson Crusoe, at the very least, seems like a movie that people were actually putting effort into. People who were trying to make a conventional Hollywood movie and failing, but they were at least trying. And yet, oddly, it doesn't actually fit the 5-point Hollywood animation checklist because A, it's not really a comedy, and B, what really surprised me is that there are no major celebrities attached to this, which is really odd because a lot of the time, even with overseas and low budget movies, even straight to streaming, there's usually at least one well-known name attached. I mean, Turtle's Tale has Melanie Griffith, Kathy Griffin, and Tim Curry. The Little Prince has it has a lot of big names in it. Also, just to be fair, I know that in the past I've made The Little Prince look like the perfect little discarded animation martyr, and I do like it, but it's not a perfect movie. The third act definitely has some shark jumping going on. But Wildlife was just made up of a bunch of anime and video game people. I mean, the biggest name is best known for being Sasuke, Simone, and Mercury from RWBY. I'm surprised, but also kind of impressed. So Wildlife is a complete waste of time. That is a little better than the trailer makes it look, but because the trailer doesn't make it look good at all, that doesn't say very much. I can sort of understand why people might actually kind of, in a twisted way, prefer Norm of the North to this. On technical quality all around, Wildlife is a minuscule improvement, but I would still rather binge watch Toddler Teens Go than watch either of these again. 1.3 out of 5.
Way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor.